How to choose a course of study. Normally, all career decisions starts from career education. Most of the students do the career choices at the last stage of their collegiate education, which is not a very positive step in terms of professional world. So it starts from the choosing of your courses at the higher secondary level. I would say it is much earlier than that. Sometime around the ninth and 10th standard or 8th or ninth standard, the actual thought of a career sets in the mind of the students. We don't really understand that, or we don't take notice of that. Your preference of subject or the course of subject, maybe arts or science, does go into your subconscious mind. And what happens during your 10th standard examination is a choice of a subject that you like, you score good marks. So when you want to go in for a career course, it is always essential that you have a mindset management. Either you have a fixed mindset and say that you are going for this particular discipline, or you have a flexible mindset, which is a growth mindset, taking on the challenges that comes across and the opportunities. For choosing the course, you have to understand that your marks are important. At the same time, before the marks, you have to make yourself prepared to score good marks. And when that happens, when you're comfortable on a subject, when you feel that the subject is good for you, you automatically score good marks. Don't wait for the board examinations to get over and then choose a career course. And the second point, very important to this, is we don't normally find students exploring the various courses available. It's normally centered around a few choices that they hear, or their friends have done, or the parents have told them to do. Today's the professional world has courses that are spread across various disciplines, various subjects, going into specific areas of science, arts, or maybe even professional courses. And also there are institutes that are available at the national centers, at the regional centers, at the state centers, the local centers. So today I would say the spread of courses is quite wide. We have the need for the students to understand that there is a chance for them to explore greater options if they are tuned towards a good course. So this is the key for selection of courses for higher education. The preparation for a career starts much earlier than you actually step into the college. There are three stages of career development which I would normally recommend to students. The career education part is when you choose the right course, and career information with regard to the prospects of the courses after you're studying, in terms of jobs, in terms of your aspirations for research, or aspirations for settling down abroad or India, or taking on the government sector, or going into the corporate sector, or looking at self-employed entrepreneurship activities. So there's a whole gamut of activities that goes into decision making for a career. The early you prepare, the early you come to terms with your choices, with your passion, with your interest, the better you are placed to choose a career course much early. Normally, we tend to understand that career is all about money. Sadly, it's not so. There is a question of what is the right career. Always, you should understand uh, money is important. At the same time, your skills need to be fully utilized in a career. And more importantly, there should be a contentment of your satisfactory role in your career. So I would say the intersection point of the right career would be rewarding financial status, your skills being utilized to the maximum, the satisfaction that you get in a career, and more importantly, the choice of preference of the core area of your working experience in professional world is also important. So I would say the right career is the intersection point at all these three. How important is it to start early career preparation? Well, students should understand that we need time to test our skills, and also to test our priorities in terms of assessment. The early preparation of a career is always an advantage that you have on your hands. More specifically, because you can explore options that are available to you. You can also have time to prepare for a career professionally. And more importantly, career choices are not done overnight, so it takes time. You have to understand that you have to endure the process of career preparation. There is a very definitive element of requirement in terms of what the employers seek in a career from a student or from a candidate. Normally, we need to understand that the students or the graduates who are passing out of the colleges need to get connected with the aspirations of the employers also. As you have your own choice of your career or aspirations, on the contrary, the employers also have some expectations in terms of need from the candidate. The first need would be stability in terms of emotional quotient. They would require the candidate to be emotionally balanced so that they are team players and they are able to bring out a solution to problems. They wouldn't want a person to question the problem and remain quiet about it. So your enthusiasm, your courage, your core competency all muddled together, and the way you carry yourself in a team environment, and you should give the confidence to the employer that you will stay with them in terms of getting their ideals fulfilled or aspirations achieved. If there's a doubt in the mind of the employer that you would not stay the distance or the duration of the posting that they are giving you, then automatically you lose a chance of losing the job itself. So you have to understand that the employers will look at your integrity, you look at your honesty, you look at your enthusiasm, and look at, more importantly, how suitable are you to the environment in terms of adding more value to their professional setup. The resume part for your career is very, very critical. Your resume is actually a passport to a career development or a career growth. Most often, the employers or the corporates look at your resume as the brand value that you transform in terms of conveying your candidature. Now, how strong is your resume? We would not like to have a lengthy resume that is very boring to read or lackluster in content or presentation. What we require is a genuine resume that is giving a brief outline of what you are, what your potentials are, and how far you're suitable to the organization. The more important point is that the resume has to be original in terms of content, and you have to be customized in terms of expressing your request for the placement, and also convey to the particular position what your credentials are. So if you want a call from the interviewers, or if you want a call from the employer for your resume, it has to carry a very professional presentation of yourself in terms of giving you an outlook of your personality. Your resume is mostly read when you're not there, in absentia. So it is almost like presenting yourself to the employer, and you get only one chance to do that. The first chance is always the best chance. So try to impress your employers in terms of presenting a very authentic, genuine, and a very, very honest resume. That is the key to get an interview call. There are some important do's and don'ts for a resume preparation. Normally, your resume is a consolidation of all your credentials in terms of educational qualifications and skills. So what we find normally is the students download a template and fit in their answers to the template that is given. This is normally done by a large number of students, and today resumes are not read personally. There are softwares to shortlist resumes. I would say computer read resumes are also in fashion today in terms of the requirement process. So if you want your resume to stand out, you have to make 3-4 basic fundamental steps. The pre-writing phase. The pre-writing phase is always consolidation of all your facts and logically putting them in terms of presentation. There are two ways of looking at it. One, you go via timeline demonstration or timeline presentation of it, either in the ascending order or descending order based on your years of training and education. The other aspect is the functional mode based on your activities that you have taken and undertaken. So you have to make your resume structurally clear before writing it. When you sit to write your resume, make sure that your fonts, the presentation is not a fashion statement, it is professionally done. So please avoid designing on the resume. Please avoid putting all in capital letters or underlining them or highlighting them with different color fonts or whatever it is. Your resume should be a very professional resume. Maximum 2 pages or more than that 3 pages. More importantly, what you write in your resume, you have to understand. You'll have to anticipate questions based on your resume. So please take note of what you mention in your resume and be prepared to answer questions on that. For a career development, there is always something called the references. The employee wouldn't know you actually. So it is always nice to mention a reference. And the more important point is, please inform the person that your name is being mentioned as reference there. Suppose they get a call, they should be able to testify your credentials. So most often it doesn't take place like that, and some call is being made and they will be taken by surprise. So the trust activity goes there itself. So make your resume a very, very strong statement of positivity. A resume as a very clear window of expressing yourself to the employer. Make it very honest. Please see to that the preparation is not being copied from anyone else, because the resume cannot be copied. And more importantly, write your resume on yourself. And when you write your resume on yourself, you will know what best points to express, what weightage you should give towards conveying your qualifications, your testimonies, or your training. And please make your leisure activities appropriate to the post that you apply for. Don't be playful in your resume, because the employers do not want a playful candidate filling their office positions. They want a professional candidate. So make your resume very, very professional. And today we find very fanciful email ID created by students when they are young students, maybe in colleges or in school, and they carry that same email ID in the resume. Please avoid that. Professionally construct an email ID with your name and numbers, whatever it is. Don't have fanciful tags on your email ID. That speaks very low of you. The professional connect in terms of a LinkedIn account or whatever it is. A social media account also are being monitored nowadays. So please make your resume very clean, concise, and content-based presentation of your qualities. The very critical point of a career development stage or a career is facing interviews. Friends, you need to understand the purpose of the interview. The interviews are always a test to know how you are made up, emotionally, or made up psychologically, or your personality traits are always on test. So please understand, a resume is an opportunity to express yourself. It is not just entering the room and start speaking non-stop and trying to impress all the panel there with all your answers. An interview is a forum for a healthy conversation. So I would say the key here is listening. Please listen to the questions and then answer. Second thing is that when you go for an interview, most likely they would like to ask questions based on what you perceive about your resume, or what you perceive about your qualities, or how you would like to convey. So you'll have to be prepared in mind to answer those questions. Be certain that the resume, your interview is not going to be a very easy part of your career development. It's going to be a very testing time. So as calm as you are, as comfortable as you are, your answers are going to be very clear. In terms of your stress that you're going to express out, if you're going to speak out in anxiety mode, the interviewer will very clearly notice that you're uncomfortable when questioned. Your values will come into picture, your attitude will come into picture, or your endurance will come into picture. So your interviews are always a very healthy atmosphere to express ideas, ask for information also. Most often we find students do not ask questions in the interview, and when they are losing out the chances, they come back and say, I was not asked this question, I was not asked this answer, I was prepared with all this. It is up to you to express your thoughts or whatever it is. So interviews are a very healthy segment of your career development. Take it very comfortably. Today, the interviewers would like to cross-check with you on what you are eligible for or what you are looking for. So that is one. The second thing is that the stress of an interview or anxiety of an interview, please do not expect answers on the interview table itself, because every company will have a process of tabulating your answers and coming back to you in terms of the results announced. What you should do is you should give the best account of yourself in a very, very confident manner, in a very, very comfortable manner. Make certain that you leave the interview room with a smile, and always maintain your body language in a very, very positive environment in interview. Going for the interview is very, very important, because how you are organized in terms of your materials, because we don't find students organized in terms of having the certificates in order, or having the training programs in order, whatever it is. So whatever you want to showcase in your resume or an interview, it has to be balanced. There should be some preparation into it, and the interview panel will know that whether you are prepared for the interview or not. Brush up on the company's profile, brush up on the position that you're going to appear for, and in case they ask you a question which is difficult and you don't know the answer, please express yourself that you do not know the answer. That's a honest way of conveying that you are yet to learn. Do not take interviews in a very stressful manner, because interviews either make or break your career. Be positive and make it count in terms of your credentials for your career development. Chiseling your career. This is a nice aspect to talk about. The career are constructed, so you have a career path that you have to choose. And career crafting is a beautiful experience. If you can enjoy it, you're going to do well in your career development. The fundamental aspect here is focus. You got to be focused in mind in terms of your professional approach towards career crafting. You're chiseling your career means that you're constructing it bit by bit or brick by brick. So there should be a professional job search in the first place. Try to expand your horizons to see where all the jobs are available, in what sectors they're available, and what are the qualities that are required for those particular jobs. Having gone through that, focus your mind on 2 or 3 key areas that you can give your best. Start preparing for professionally presenting yourself. In terms of presenting yourself, there may be a requirement to acquire new skills in terms of crash courses or trainings or internships or whatever it is. So career path will give you a direction to go into which area you want. And when you decide the career path, it is your focus there, your determination there, and commit yourself to self-improvement. Unless and until you commit yourself to self-improvement, you're not going to taste success. You cannot outsource hard work. Hard work is your own quotient. And the best part of chiseling your career is knowing what to do at what level, at what frequency. This is a very, very enduring part of your career. And if you do it very, very positively, success is always there at your reach. The scope of communication in a career development. Friends, as young students, you should know communication is the language of leadership. And today, whether it's a corporate job or it is a government job or it is your own enterprise, you got to be communicative leaders. And when you are communicative, you are inspiring, you are creating an aura of expectations around you. For communication to be successful, you need to understand that you have to communicate first. You cannot learn communication. You have to perform or you have to speak communication. So it's a demonstration of confidence, the more of the language. Today we find this communication presenting itself in various forms across cities, urban centers or rural centers, or even semi-urban centers. Honestly, there's no mental block as to where you belong to. It is how confident you are in terms of expressing your core competencies, or how confident are you able to express your ideas in terms of the language. We have to understand that today's corporate world, English is the language that is commonly used for communicating your thoughts and your aspirations. So I would say you pick up the skill of communicating in English. Try to be more proactive in speaking out your mind. If you want to make your communication stand out in terms of expressing yourself or impressing your people around you, make clear, concise communication. Learn to expand on a small line At the same time, learn to concise it from a big explanatory paragraph into a small statement. So this is one part of it. The second part of it is that always test your voice. When you speak out loud, you will know which words are comfortable to you, how you can present yourself, or in what intonation you can speak. Communication is about conveying with clarity and confidence what content you have in mind. When I say content, you need to think before communicating, and when you start communicating or speaking, your flow of words will automatically come. That is when your mind is prepared to speak. This is the oral communication part of it. Now we are expecting the students or the young graduates to be very good at written communication also. Try to move out from the computer-based communication or a shortcut communication or social media communication. Communication has to be formal, and it has to be eloquent, it has to be structure-based, it has to be content-based. So please do not use technical jargons or shortcut keys or whatever it is. Try to write out communicative statements of positivity. And when you find that your oral and written communication is an advantage to you, that is when you have a power to express yourself. There is always this concept of comfort zones. It is nothing but a mental fence that you create around yourself. Friends, today, honestly, jobs have become international, jobs have become global, it has become, jobs beyond boundaries. So any candidate who aspires for a great challenge will have to be prepared to work in any environment at any place. So this is the ultimate idea of a professional world. Now, with regard to comfort zones, we tend to create certain limitations within our mind. I am good at only these jobs, I am good at only these areas. Gender-based discrimination, I'm not able to travel so far, I'm not able to acclimatize myself to city-based concepts. I'm not able to work in a industry which is demanding 100% dedication without any questions. So today, if you're going to have your own communication, it's a wall that you create yourself, and it is all on a thought process. The chances that you succeed is going to less than whatever it is. So if you want to make your comfort zone not a barrier to your career, please understand you need to think in terms of broader perspective. You have to broaden your thinking process. When you start thinking beyond yourself or beyond your home or beyond your environment or a college or beyond your subject, you will start networking with professional contacts. And when you start networking with professional contacts, it automatically creates a goodwill within you and give you a power that you can unleash your talents. The second thing is that try to be, expressive in exploring all areas. Today, if you don't explore and you don't and come to terms of knowing where you can place yourself, the chances that you will not be employed is going to be clear. So today you can explore yourselves. Try to make an effort to present yourselves. You might fail at times, doesn't matter. But the key point is that you are making a very affirmative, proactive step. And this is what the industry wants. They want proactive people. We want people to act on themselves, or act independently. So if you are going to come out of a comfort zone, the chances are that you're going to conquer the world of career with great positivity. Do not limit your mind in terms of the internal fence that you create. And your mind is as you think. If you suppose you want to get along in any environment beyond your capacity, yes, you can work for it. Nothing wrong with that. But it has to be thought in your mind, and you have to come out of a comfort zone. Do not go to an interview, go to a career placement with limitations or with preconditioned mind. Adapting is different. Going with the preconceived mind is different. So comfort zone is more on the preconceived mind, which is not a healthy trend for career development. Finally, it comes to the decision-making process in a career. Friends, I would say this is an acid test for any individual. How you decode decision-making is what your career is. Your career is almost your life engagement decision. So you cannot make an error there, or you cannot make amends for making a wrong choice. At any point of time, for a teenager to decide on a career is going to be a difficult proposition, but not a very impossible proposition, I would say. There are very easy ways to conquer the decision making or decode it. Primarily understand you got to decide. There's no two ways about it. The more you decide, the more you're energetic, and the more you're energetic, the more you're confident, and the more you're confident, the more you are successful in terms of career placement. This is the fundamental point of decision making. Now, all of us will experience a stress factor in the families during career decisions in terms of choosing a course or going for a job. The preference of the mother, father, or the siblings is going to be confusing to you and going to put a lot of pressure on you. Added to that is your peer group who's going to give you directions. In my experience as human resourcement, I find many students taking a career decision based on what the friends or the peer group gives them an idea or a lead across. Most importantly, the youngsters are these days not willing to take risk in terms of taking a decision. They would very easily pass the buck to the parents or their friends that I have taken a decision based on what you have said. Today, if you're going to decide on yourself, you're going to take a decision on yourself, the success rate is much more higher, much more healthier, and much more enriching. All that we want today is to be enriched towards an empowered life for your own personal, social, and professional development. When you come to the question of career development or in terms of decision making, please understand there's a very simple way to handle this. The first way is elimination process. Be clear in your mind what you do not want to do in your life. That gives you a leverage to shed off almost 50% of your decision making areas. If you have 10 choices to make, be clear what you do not want to make, 50% goes out. This is elimination process. The second process would be a process of cross-checking. Now, this is the phase where you cross-check with your parents' aspirations or the value system of your family or your peer group influence or your inputs from your professors or teachers, whatever it is. You can cross-check what opinion they give you. 30% goes out of that and the process of cross-checking. Now you have 20% or two options only available to you. Sit now separately, independently, and reflect within your value systems. See whether the choices or the options that are available to you right now is going to make you a better person, going to enhance your skills, going to enlighten your life, or going to give you the satisfaction that yes, this is my own decision. It is very easy to decide. Please do that process of deciding on yourself. When you have two options, it is entirely your own area to decide, and most likely you will succeed. It goes by instinct, it goes by intuition, it goes by passion which comes into play, it goes by interest which comes into it, and there's something deep within you that will tell you that you can decide on this area. When you do this process of decision making, most likely you will succeed. So please be very certain that decision making is a very, very essential step in career guidance. You cannot escape decision making. And you might make mistakes. As I told you earlier, you might make mistakes. All those mistakes are learning environment or learning improvisation aspects given to you. It's godsend aspect given to you. The more you are able to customize yourself in terms of not doing the same mistake again, then you are a leader, then you are an achiever, or then you are fit to be a career person. I wish all of you a very great career in terms of your lives. Please make certain that you do a great presentation of yourself in terms of career development. And when you do the career development exercise based on your passion, your potentials, be very certain that you're going to conquer the world of career with professional excellence. Wish you all the very best.